In the dead of night, we tell stories. Some are born from the shadows of our imagination. Others are born from the depths of something far darker. Urban legends, timeless, terrifying tales, have existed for centuries. But in the 21st century, they've evolved, morphing into something more insidious, more immediate. These aren't just stories whispered on street corners anymore. They spread faster than a virus through the endless corridors of the internet. From the deepest corners of online forums to the most innocuous social media platforms, the legends of today have found a home in our digital lives. In a world where information moves at the speed of a click, the horrors we once feared only in the dark of night now arrive on our screens, pulling us into their grasp. Tonight, we explore the most spine-chilling urban legends of the 21st century. These are the stories that have haunted the modern world, terrifying tales that are too real to ignore. Urban legends are nothing new. They've been part of human culture for centuries, passed down from one generation to the next. Each time we hear a story, it morphs, it changes, taking on new shapes, new fears, and new settings. What makes them so enduring is their ability to tap into something primal, something universal. These stories reflect our anxieties, our uncertainties, and our darkest fears. But the way these stories are told has changed dramatically in the 21st century. Once, urban legends were spread through whispers and the written word. But with the rise of the internet, the very nature of these tales has shifted. What was once a rumor shared in small circles is now a global phenomenon, one that can explode in a matter of hours. We no longer just hear these stories from a friend or neighbor. They appear in the news feed of our phones, embedded in memes, or dropped into the comments section of a viral video. The internet has given these tales the power to cross boundaries and evolve into something more dangerous and more real. One of the most disturbing urban legends to emerge in the digital age was the Momo Challenge. It began innocuously enough, an innocuous image of a strange, unsettling woman with eyes too large and a smile too wide. But as the legend spread, it morphed into something far more sinister. Parents everywhere were horrified as they learned that the Momo Challenge allegedly encouraged children to perform dangerous, life-threatening tasks. The legend was simple. The creature, Momo, would appear in the middle of videos, often children's content, and would contact them through messaging apps, urging them to take part in deadly dares. Though many believed it to be a hoax, the story spread rapidly. Schools issued warnings, and news outlets scrambled to debunk it, but for many parents, the fear was real. The threat wasn't just imagined, it was amplified by the speed and reach of the internet. It was a reminder of how quickly a seemingly harmless story could turn into a full-blown panic. But the Momo Challenge wasn't the only urban legend to emerge from the digital age. The Slender Man, a figure as tall as a tree with tentacles extending from his back and a blank, featureless face, has become the face of modern horror. Slender Man's origins are traced back to an online creepypasta, a fictional short story posted on a forum in 2009. But it didn't stay fiction for long. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls lured their friend into the woods and attempted to stab her to death, claiming they did it to please Slender Man. The girls survived, but the case shook the world. What was once a chilling online legend had bled into the real world, causing irreversible harm. The terrifying thing about the Slender Man isn't just the image he represents. It's the terrifying possibility that anyone, even a child, can become obsessed with a story, believing it to be real enough to act on it. Then came the terrifying clown purge. In 2016, reports began flooding in from all over the United States, and then the world. People were seeing clowns, strange, menacing figures standing in the shadows, holding knives or simply staring at unsuspecting victims. The sightings started in small towns, but it didn't take long for the clowns to invade city streets, where they lurked, waiting in alleyways or chasing pedestrians late at night. The horror of these clown sightings grew so intense that it sparked panic and even violent confrontations. Was it a prank? Was it part of some larger scheme? No one knew, but the sheer panic spread quickly, fueled by social media posts and viral videos. The clown purge became a global phenomenon, and soon it wasn't just clowns in the streets. It was the fear of something darker, something that may have only existed in the collective imagination. But what if, just what if some of those clowns were real? These modern urban legends don't just live in the realm of fiction. They bleed into our reality, infecting our thoughts, our fears, and sometimes our actions. Studies show that urban legends have a profound impact on mental health, contributing to heightened anxiety and paranoia. The more we're exposed to these stories, the more they begin to feel like they might be true. The internet is a breeding ground for fear-mongering, where misinformation spreads faster than ever. Every legend, every scare, builds upon the last. And the more real it feels, the more likely we are to believe it. Whether it's the fear of a faceless creature lurking in the shadows, or the terror of a clown hiding behind every corner, these urban legends play on our deepest anxieties, spreading like wildfire and leaving us questioning what's real. Why do we fear these stories? What is it about the unknown that draws us in, even as it sends chills down our spine? Fear, it seems, is part of our nature. From an evolutionary perspective, fear kept our ancestors safe. It heightened their senses, urging them to flee from danger. And while we may no longer fear saber-toothed tigers, our brains are still wired to recognize and react to threats. That's why urban legends, with their whispers of the unknown, continue to grip us. Urban legends give us a safe space to confront our fears. They allow us to experience terror without facing true danger. It's the catharsis of fear, a release that, oddly enough, brings us comfort. But in the 21st century, our ability to separate fact from fiction is increasingly tested. And sometimes, when the stories become too real, they can take on a life of their own. In a world where the line between fact and fiction becomes increasingly blurred, it's more important than ever to approach what we read online with a critical eye. The next time you hear an urban legend, ask yourself, is this truly something to fear, or is it a product of our collective imagination? The stories that grip us may be terrifying, but they are also a reminder of the power of storytelling and of the importance of questioning what we're told. Share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. Have you ever encountered an urban legend that left you questioning what's real? And remember, while these stories may be spine-chilling, the most terrifying part might just be how quickly we believe in them. Stay vigilant, stay skeptical, and stay safe. Deep in the heart of the woods, when the sun dips below the horizon and night falls, the darkness becomes more than just the absence of light. It becomes a force, a veil that hides what lurks beneath. For centuries, the woods have been a place of mystery, a place where untold horrors hide in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to make themselves known. Tonight, we delve into the terrifying encounters in the woods at night, the strange and eerie events that have left their mark on those brave enough to venture into these remote, untamed realms. Before we dive into the chilling encounters that occur in the woods, we must first understand why these dark, natural environments seem to amplify fear. The woods, isolated, remote, and often pitch black at night, are not only physically intimidating, but also psychological minefields for the human mind. Fear in nature is an ancient instinct, one that has been hardwired into our DNA for survival. Our ancestors needed to stay alert to avoid predators or natural dangers. But in the woods at night, that ancient instinct is heightened, and the mind can play cruel tricks on us. One of the most common phenomena that occur is known as pareidolia, the brain's tendency to find patterns, especially faces, in random or ambiguous stimuli. In the forest, this means that tree stumps, rocks, and shadows might appear to form the shapes of creatures or even human figures. It's not uncommon for hikers to see faces in the bark of trees or shadows moving in the corner of their eyes, shapes that seem to resemble human figures, only for the mind to quickly dismiss them. But for some, these fleeting glimpses can be terrifying, as they lead to a chilling sense that they're not alone. I was out on a solo hike in the woods near my home. It was around midnight when I started hearing these strange noises. At first, I thought it was just the wind or an animal, but then it sounded like something was moving closer, but I couldn't see anything. It felt like something was watching me. I could hear its footsteps getting closer with each passing minute. But when I turned around, no one was there. These types of encounters are not rare. People have been reporting strange experiences in the woods for decades, and many of these stories feature similar themes: unexplained noises, mysterious footsteps, shadowy figures, or feelings of being watched. Some of the most common explanations for these eerie experiences are wildlife misidentification or natural phenomena. One explanation that frequently arises is the presence of large wildlife. Bears, coyotes, and even deer are known to roam forests, and their movements, particularly at night, can cause unsettling sounds that mimic human footsteps. But these misidentifications don't explain all encounters, especially those where the very presence of something seems to feel unnatural, almost otherworldly. In some cases, theories range from natural phenomena, such as seismic shifts or weather patterns creating strange noises, to more unsettling possibilities. Could there be creatures or cryptids that we don't fully understand, beings that have remained hidden from human knowledge for centuries? The idea of cryptids, creatures like Bigfoot or the Wendigo, has fueled speculation for years. Many who have ventured into the woods claim to have encountered creatures whose descriptions match those of these elusive beings. One particularly chilling story comes from the dense forests of Northern California, where multiple people have reported seeing large, shadowy figures walking upright through the woods. These witnesses describe the creatures as being larger than any known bear or human, and some even claim they felt an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence. We've had reports of hikers hearing strange howls, seeing large shapes move between the trees, or even feeling like they're being followed when there's no one around. Sometimes the hair on the back of their neck stands up, and they can't shake the feeling that something is watching them. It's hard to explain, but it happens more often than you'd think. Despite the mysterious and sometimes terrifying events that can unfold in the woods, exploring nature can also be a rewarding and life-changing experience. But it's essential to do so safely, especially when venturing into the wilderness at night. Here are a few simple but crucial tips for safe exploration. 1. Stay in groups. Never venture into the woods alone, especially after dark. Safety in numbers is key. 2. Carry proper gear. Always bring a flashlight, a first aid kit, and enough food and water to last through your trip. A whistle can be a lifesaver in case you need to alert others. 3. Make noise. Don't be afraid to make noise, whether it's talking with your companions or clapping your hands. This can alert wildlife of your presence and help avoid surprising any potentially dangerous animals. 4. Plan your route. Always tell someone where you're going and what time you expect to return. If you're heading into remote areas, carry a satellite phone or other emergency communication device. 5. Respect the environment. Finally, always respect the natural environment. Leave no trace and avoid disturbing wildlife as you explore. The woods are a place of beauty, mystery, and at times terror. They remind us of the unknown that exists just beyond our perception, the creatures, the sounds, the very essence of nature that remains hidden in the night. Whether it's the product of our imagination, the world's untold secrets, or something far more sinister, the mysteries of the woods continue to captivate and terrify those who dare to enter. So, we ask you, what do you think? Have you ever had a creepy encounter in the woods at night? Do you believe there are things lurking out there that we can't fully understand? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And as always, remember to explore the unknown with caution, respect, and curiosity.